Welcome to the New Year's edition of And They're Off. It's a frigid edition. In fact, I'd still be celebrating New Year's, but my bottle of tequila froze. I want to tell you, it is cold here. Steve Haskin, how cold is it?
How cold? It's so cold that the birds in my yard were de-icing their wings.
That's very good. I'm now keeping my carton of milk outside so it lasts longer. It is cold here, friends. All right, new year, new 3-year-olds. There was a stakes race at Gulfstream Park last Friday that masqueraded as an allowance. It was a very solid field. And Commissioner, who broke his maiden going 1 1/8 at Saratoga last August, even though he was green and almost tried to lose the race, really looked strong this time, getting another 9 furlongs, a lot more mature. Yes, Steve, I certainly bring up Commissioner because he is from the last crop of AP Indy, but I sure thought he ran well.
Yes, he ran well, but he wasn't the most impressive horse in the race.
Uh-oh.
That was the second horse, Top Billing. Commissioner was coming off a 1 1/8 race, as you so well stated. However, Top Billing, another one from the Shugster, was coming off a 6 furlong maiden win at Laurel in the slop. He had been at Fair Hill all fall, and he decided, what the heck, we'll just run him, and he had only that one 6 furlong race. And he made a huge move from the back of the pack, and in fact, Commissioner twice came out and put him in a tight squeeze. And he still came on.
That's my boy.
And Commissioner, found another gear at the end, which I'll give him that. He ran a game race. But he only beat him in neck. And this horse was stretching out from 6 furlongs to 1 1/8. And like I said, Commissioner had that 1 1/8 race already in him, plus a race before that. So he certainly had a lot more experience.
Yes,
so as
Steve,
far as who's going to improve more after the race, I don't know. And, he's had 2 1 1/8 races, and it's only January. I'd like to get some sharpness in there. You don't want to see 1 1/8, 1 1/8, 1 1/8 all the time. So,
Steve, that was in August. Come on, it was a 4-month layoff he was running off of there.
Well, I'm just saying he had.
Did I mention he's by AP Indy?
Yeah, but you didn't mention that he's not the only AP Indy from his last crop. You figure, let's remind the folks out there that we also have honor code.
Trained
and
by.
You got to figure out which one. You got to figure out which one you have to root for the most.
No.
The Commissioner looks like a look. He looks like a good horse. He's got all the right connections.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I was kind of taken with the second horse.
Okay.
I like the way he ran.
Good. I'm glad we have a variety of things. But listen, he was very green back in August. He looked very, very much more together mentally the other day. I thought he progressed really well over the autumn. So good for him. I thought he came back looking very, very good. So good. We got a lot of 3-year-olds to watch.
Yes. Well, the main thing about him now is that with this allowance win, he will go right into a stakes race off of this.
Yeah.
Top Billing, by losing this race, is still eligible for another allowance race.
Yeah.
So McGahee will be able to run him in another allowance race. Yeah. So Commissioner will always be one slight step ahead of him.
It's all about the points now, no matter what. They got to accumulate some points. All right, on the other end of the age spectrum, Steve, Jeranimo, who we have talked about in the past, won his 3rd San Gabriel Stakes the other day. When he is right, he's still at age 8, has a terrific kick. And speaking of 8, he's now won 8 Grade 1 or Grade 2 stakes. He's made $1.5 million. And again, congratulations to trainer Mike Pender and owner BJ Wright. Steve, this guy is a special one.
Yes, and just look at some of the big names from last year. Wise Dan, 6 years old. Game on Dude, 6 years old. Flat Out, 7 years old. Ron the Greek, 6 years old. Little Mike, 6 years old. Jeranimo, 7 years old. Now 8.
Yeah.
Do you realize of the last 12 horses of the year, only 2 were 3-year-olds? It was Rachel Alexandra and Curlin. And in the last 5 years, we have not had a single colt win Horse of the Year. They've either been fillies or geldings. So, do you think we're improving the breed? I mean, things seem to be changing.
We're improving the fillies, I guess.
I guess so. To show you how long Jeranimo has been racing, the first stakes he ever ran in was in the San Felipe on the Derby Trail, and he finished third to Pioneer of the Nile, who has several horses on the Derby Trail this year.
That was 09, right? 09? Yeah.
So it shows you how far back this horse was on the Derby Trail, running third in the San Felipe. And that was a long time ago, Pioneer of the Nile.
Yeah. Speaking of our friends at Santa Anita, very short field for the Santa Ynez the other day. 4 horses in that, 7 furlongs for 3-year-old fillies. An allowance race the day before that scratched down to 3 horses. This is the first week of Santa Anita, folks. I sure hope this is not a sign of what's to come in California. I really hope they get the horse population up there, because that is not a good situation there.
Someone asked me the same. Someone mentioned it to me on Facebook, wanting to know why the fields were so small, and I really, it is very alarming. The only thing I can think of is maybe there have been some trainers that ran all their best horses at Hollywood Park, wanting to be part of the big farewell at Hollywood Park, and maybe the top horses aren't quite ready to run yet, and hopefully we'll see bigger fields and better horses as the meet progresses. I sure hope so.
Maybe they were all Kitten's joys that the Ramseys were running to make sure he won the sire of the...
When you can always count on them. So
getting back to
we'll just have Ramsey ship in.
Getting back to our friends at Gulfstream Park. A year ago, we got into some warm water with the bigwigs over there when we suggested that their plan to add 50,000 seats to the racetrack was, let me think of a deli meat. Baloney. They were shocked that someone would actually doubt their announcement. They eventually sent over blueprints and artist renditions. We suggested at that time that Gulfstream's decision to run year-round racing might compromise their ability to do that construction work. And now, after a year, the best and the brightest there have decided that, with year-round racing, they can't follow through on their construction plans. Hey guys, want to hire me? I can save you a year on these things. Not a problem. Unbelievable. All right.
So I take it they haven't finished the 50,000 seats yet.
They haven't. I think they're bringing in the 8 million foot tall dragon to assemble in the parking lot, though, because after all, what's important here? So we'll keep you up to date with that. I think there's actually a camera on that. You can see the time lapse photography of it. Yeah,
well, at least they have the blueprints ready.
Yeah, they have the blueprints. Yeah, they're probably turning gray prints by now. Steve, I still think your photo of Ron the Greek eating tree leaves should have won, but can you believe we actually do have an Eclipse Award-winning photo this year that shows a horse and a rider remaining upright?
Well, I have to admit, I have not seen the photo yet, but I'm sure it's deserving. That's about the only comment I can have when it comes to awards. Sorry about that. Let's put it this way. As long as it's not a photo of a jockey falling off a horse,
yes,
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's actually a very nice photo.
It was getting a little bit repetitious. There wasn't
a little bit.
Wasn't much thought process going on in the judging. I'm sure this was a beautiful picture.
No, and remember, Steve, we did that shoot at Saratoga where I fell off the hobby horse with you taking a picture. We were trying to win the Eclipse there, but
I was serious, very seriously thinking about submitting that.
Just our luck. We'll go back to the carousel and try again.
Well, it's all your fault for landing on your feet. I was hoping you'd land on your head. That's the only ones that win.
Believe me, it would have done me a lot of good. All right, the demise of Hollywood Park has been well chronicled by us as well as others, but the hits keep coming. Hollywood released its end of the meet numbers for its last stand the other day. Now, publicity departments always try to put the best spin they possibly can on numbers, but this track is being torn down. Do we really need information like, quote, buoyed by 13,283 attending closing day? daily on-track attendance showed a spike of 15% over 2012. Really? Because people came out on closing day, you're going to put out a release bragging that attendance spiked. For what purpose exactly? Okay, not for years nobody came to Hollywood because there was no publicity, there was no public relations, there was no advertising. So just let it die in peace now, okay, guys?
Did you ever think, by the way, that maybe, just maybe, Hollywood Park is not really closing, and they just said that to boost attendance and handle? You know the public will buy anything. Just remember, they had Hollywood Park and Santa Anita both had farewells for Zenyatta, and 3 months later she was back in the starting gate. So it's just possible that maybe they're just doing that just to boost the attendance and the handle, and that'll be open on time just like normal business next year.
Steve, do we
and
know?
The next year they'll say they're closing again.
Do we know anyone rich enough to buy Hollywood Park?
I know plenty of people that would.
Oh, good. All right, so we got hope.
Yeah, I know a lot of people
Right.
that are rich enough to buy it. I don't know anybody that would be silly enough to buy it, but
Okay. All right.
you know what they should do. They should open up. They should close it down and open up a shopping center because of that big influx of people that are going to come flowing to Inglewood
Yes.
to go shopping.
And condominiums.
And condominiums.
And a park. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, good luck.
This one is going to stick in my craw every year when it comes around, so I guess I'm going to have to get used to it. The Grade 3 Robert J. Frankel Stakes was run last week at Santa Anita. If you're going to name a Grade 1 race after Charlie Whittingham, which they have, doesn't Bobby Frankel also deserve a Grade 1? By the way, he won more races at Santa Anita than Whittingham did. He won more money at Santa Anita than Whittingham did. And if he would have lived a few more years, he would have won more graded stakes than Whittingham did. But perhaps, folks, at Santa Anita, you can possibly change the name of the Awesome Again, or the Chandelier, or the Rodeo Drive, or any other.
The Chandelier.
I'm sorry, Steve.
You should be ashamed of yourself wanting to change the name of the Chandelier or the Rodeo Drive.
Is that sacrosanct already? I had no idea.
Well, hey, listen. Just let's remember what the Frankel used to be: the San Gorgonio Claiming Stakes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, look, it's a race he won a bunch of times, but you know, if you're going to honor him, this was a Grade 1 man. Name a Grade 1 race after him, period. It's no excuse. All right. I don't know that we got the New Year's off to a great start. It's probably because I have no running water in my house. I'm feeling a little greasy. But all right. The Eclipse Awards are coming up, and so is the next, and they're off on January 22nd when we will discuss the handing out of the Eclipse hardware. Should be plenty of material there. So for now, we want to thank our viewers. Want to thank our wonderful sponsor, Darby Dan Farm. And Steve, I don't know if you saw this, but Darby Dan hired our friend Carl McEntee from Northview.
I know. I
Pennsylvania.
noticed
Yes.
He wasn't at Northview anymore. I was wondering what happened, and then I saw the announcement.
Yep, good hire. Congratulations to Darby Dan. He's a good guy. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Steve, don't freeze. See you then.
Try not to. Bye-bye.